let's be honest, we are all in business to make profit.
Yeah.
Apart from, yes, I'm passionate about this thing, I'm passionate about talking, passionate about helping people. Yes, it will be more passionate when money is coming in. If you're looking for something to build for the long term, consistency is very important.
Yeah.
If you're a founder and you want to start a business and you're looking for how do I make this profit, it is very important you focus on who is manning your accounting framework for your business. AI is amazing. It's a tool that is supposed to enhance what we are doing. Your empty jar, that is basically the starting point. Before you start a business, what exactly is your vision? What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve?
Hi there. Thank you for joining me on the podcast today. With me, I have Temilola Onalaja. She is a finance expert, an author, and a chartered accountant. Today, we're going to be looking at thriving as a startup from our lens, and we'll also be reviewing our book. So stay with us on this episode. Temilola, it's nice to have you on the podcast. How are you?
Thank you for having me. It's really good to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have a latest addition.
Yes.
Great. How did you come
Yes.
about the
Good.
name The Profit Jar?
It was easy to actually come up with that because with my experience in my almost 15 years journey as a finance personnel and a strategist, it's a repeated issue that I notice with a lot of organizations that I've worked with, both as an employee and also as a private consultant. And I realized that most of the time, the name profit or the term profit isn't something that a lot of business owners or even the people working in organizations actually understand what it means or how to actually go about it. And it's one of the fundamental things that at the end of the day makes the company stop functioning or even scaling higher. So when the inspiration to write came, I was so convinced that the name of this book has to be The Profit Jar because that's where it embodies everything I have to talk about, which is all written in this book.
Great. So before we start to talk about Profit Jar, do you want to walk
Mhm.
us through your journey as a finance expert or finance strategist, right? Walk us through that
Yes.
journey.
So I didn't just wake up working as a finance strategy.
Yeah.
I started my journey as a fresh accountant. We called it accountant in embryo in those days. It actually started from the very basic. I've always been in the health sector
Okay.
and diagnostic firm where I moved through all the units in the finance department. I was doing revenue. I was working in the payable unit at some point. At some point, I was cash management. As far back as I can ever remember, I've always said I wanted to be an accountant. So it was easy for me when I went to school. And then God being so good, I got the admission. And from there on, kickstarting my profession in accounting, I moved on to a world class specialist hospital. And there was where I really saw a lot more. What I saw where I was coming from was just a starting point, but right there,
Yeah.
it was really a whole lot. And I understood better things with finance and I understood why a lot of companies struggle. I realized that they were all seeing profits from the lens of revenue.
Hmm.
And then I actually owned the profession at that point in my life. And that was when gradually I stepped into professional courses, these certification courses, and, branded myself properly and moved on further to construction and manufacturing firm. And we are here today. Started off my own firm as well.
That's interesting to know
Yeah.
how you've moved like
Mhm.
across industries and also across the ladder. You mentioned something when you were talking about your background about people confuse revenue for profit. Can you walk us through that?
You see, I'm sure even listeners will be like, oh, but that's easy. Like, oh, profit is not revenue. So people think it's easy. And truly, it can be easy, but there's also a thin line where you actually do not understand it in depth. For most part of every organizations I've worked with, even my personal clients, the focus is more on how much did we generate this month? What was the sales
Yeah.
this month? You'll be hearing millions and the thousands, and everybody is happy. The sales teams are doing amazingly well. But we, the finance team, are the ones that know we are not even meeting up. And revenue is different from profits simply by knowing that your revenue comprises of all costs plus your gain. I mean, gain is another word for profit, plus what brought the raw materials, you buying the goods, even as a finished product, your own expertise, your time, you're paying your staff, everything is in that revenue.
Right.
But profit is simply your gain. After you take out everything, what is actually left? And when I say take out everything, remember you must have paid all the people you are owing.
Yeah.
You must have paid your rent. You must afford your car. You must have paid your staff and pay them properly
Yeah.
so that they can, of course, be motivated. So what is now left is your profits. Are we actually making that profit, or we are just excited about a big figure that sits in sales?
So now let's talk about the profit jar, this book. As a startup, what is the right framework for my finance? Like, how should I position my finance such that I'm not just excited about the bank account? What are the things that I need to put in place for me to have the appropriate profit?
For founders, this is very fundamental. So I'm going to break it down. Being someone that I've been opportune to work with multinationals that started up business in new continents, and also for individuals that have started up their businesses. If if you're a founder and you want to start a business and you're looking for how do I actually make this profit, it is very important you also focus on who is, first of all, manning your accounting framework for your business. Who's your accountant? Oh, I'm doing this thing myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing a spreadsheet. Oh, I'm writing it down on a notepad on my laptop or something. You see that most founders focus on finances next to, they call us back end office. For me, it is already a recipe for disaster, if I can put it that way. Even if it's one person you can afford at that point, make sure it is someone that is extensively grounded in the knowledge of finance.
Mhm.
When you get that person and bring that person on board, ensure that that person is carried along in every business decision you're making. From where you're buying from,
Right.
what you're buying, who you're negotiating with, you'll be amazed. A lot of founders do their costing, everything. They do it. They've done everything and they just expect you to do the accounts.
Yeah.
And the deed has already been done. So you're just left with source documents or bank transactions, and you just need to do some postings and probably do the accounts. It's
Yeah.
just doing what you're supposed to do first, doing it last, and the deed
Yeah.
is already done. So if you're a business owner that is just starting up, the most important thing you can do for your business is ensure that you will have a good, and I'm not talking good by books, because that's also another thing. I'm not talking
Yeah.
credentials in book.
Yeah.
I'm talking someone that has a track record of success, someone that came in by reference. You're a business owner, you want to start, you don't have all the capacity to employ a great staff of accountant. That means you have to bring someone that is sound professionally on board. That person also has to be involved. Put so much emphasis and involvement. The fact that you see your accountant as a cashier or someone that's just there to maintain what's in the account or help you pay your suppliers. No, there is so much more, because this is the person that should look into how you're calculating your costing, reminding you of the things that ordinarily you would forget. But
Yeah.
because I'm an accountant, I know the things to look out for. So if you want to scale, if you want to make profit, if you really want to have a long lasting, solid, organically built firm or business, please invest in your accountant. I am just emphasizing on make sure you have good hands
Yeah.
working with you, because that's the only way you can actually make profit.
So from what I heard, it seems like this is actually one of the things AI cannot do for us. Do you want to talk about that?
AI can, I think this AI gist, because a lot of AI is coming for your work, AI is doing this. I hear
Yes.
them and it's true. Yes, AI is coming from some people's job, but AI will only answer you based on what you put in.
Yeah.
If you're asking the wrong questions, AI will not know what's inside your head or maybe the right thing to do. Well, maybe they'll get to that point where it's more advanced to pick up those kind of errors. But as it is now, AI can help you calculate your profit. But remember, you have to feed it.
Yeah.
And the fact that someone still has to feed it now tells us that whoever is feeding it must come from a place of intelligence. Because if you're not feeding it the right question, if
Yeah.
you're not feeding it based on experience of what you know and what you're expected to look out for, it could answer you intelligently just based off on what you have put in. So yes, AI is amazing. It's a tool that is supposed to enhance what we are doing. But I do not agree that AI is coming for my own job just yet. But the reality is there that yes, AI is coming and it's coming to help people like us to even work smarter
Yeah.
and better.
Yeah.
That is how I have come to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how accountant or the accounting team can challenge your spends on with a proposal to say, hey, our marketing plan needs to be this budget. I'm not sure AI would challenge that. But if you're talking to like a human being presenting your marketing plan, I believe the person will be able to sense check.
Sure.
Oh, why is this marketing plan budget this high? Why is this cost this high? Do you want to source the raw material from somewhere else, or from another supplier? So yeah, I agree. It's gonna help us work
Yeah.
smarter, but then
Mhm.
maybe not necessarily take over the job or even challenge the obvious, when it comes to
No,
accounting.
no, I don't think so. Thank
Right.
you. That's correct.
Yeah. So the profit jar, I think you've divided the book into two parts, the empty jar and designing the jar. So let's talk
Mhm.
about the empty jar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now your empty jar, that is basically the starting point. Before you start a business, what exactly is your vision? What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? Are you going to start up a business just because you want to provide a service? Are you starting up a business because you really want this money? Are you trying to make an impact? When you really understand what your intentions are in terms of what you want to do, it guides you with how you now start filling that jar. So the empty jar basically is I want to start my business in the healthcare sector, or is it the construction sector? You have to first of all define what you want. When that is defined, then you can know, okay, for me to be this, these are the things that I need to put in place for me to actually fill up. And then that means, okay, for me to be a good specialist hospital, for instance, I have to first of all get the best of the doctors. That is you now moving into gradual filling up the jar. Then you know that these are the strategy I need to put in place. Remember, the goal is to make sure my jar is filled with the content that I really want it to be. Let's be honest, we are all in business to make profit.
Yeah.
Apart from, yes, I'm passionate about this thing, I'm passionate about talking, passionate about helping people. Yes, you'll be more passionate when money is coming in. I mean, from an accountant
Yeah.
point of
Your
view.
passion will
Yes.
increase, when
It
you're
will
making
increase when you
profit.
see your account. I mean, when you're able to meet up with all your liability or obligations and all of that. So, yes, money is important. Profit is important. So, that is always the end goal for any business, except you tell me you're not for profit making,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, with that in mind, it guides you on what you now start putting in. Again, it is all about your strategy. What strategy are you engaging to ensure that you meet up with these things?
So how do I design my jar, my profit jar?
So, well, I mean, see, for listeners, I know they love like, well, these things are normal thing. Like you would know about this. I've been graced to actually work with multinational. When I say multinational, I talk about real multinationals. And when you see companies publish results
Yeah.
online and you see
Financials.
those figures and you're like, wow, they make something trillion naira dollars or, you know, and everybody is wild. Are you actually looking in between those lines? Because the results you're seeing, the AFS that is being published, that's audited financial statement that you're seeing, is basically a result of what has been put into the profit jar in the context of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So now, what is in that jar? What is the staff strength you engaged in? I have new startup just employing all levels of professionals. So you employ excellent credentials, but no expertise.
Mm.
I've been in places that they are excellent credentials, but it is the BSc person that is actually doing the job,
Yeah.
doing the job proper. So when you're filling that jar, that is part of your assets. when you have a good staff, and not only finance, even your sales team, even your receptionist, even the customer service rep, is it the doctors, if it's the healthcare sector, if it's construction, is it the architects, is it the engineers? Are they the best that you can get? Again, I'm putting that caveat that when I'm saying best, I'm not talking credential. Credentials are important. But I think good experience. So when you're feeling that jam, make sure you have those right hands. It's difficult, I'll admit, but make sure they are the right set because when they are there, I can bet that profit that you want to get, you will get. Then another thing is what financial structure or what business structure are you even putting in place? Innovated as financial framework, but it's also a framework that you can use in businesses, personal, in your personal life, and it's called strategy. And that strategy is just synergy, technology, analysis, and risk mitigation. Those four pillars can be utilized anywhere. And if you use these four pillars in building up your jar, synergy is sales team must work with customer service must work with the finance department. Everybody cannot work in silos. That's simple recipe for disaster because when they work in silos and there's no synergy, which happens a lot, you see a lot of units or department making decisions and another person that is supposed to know about what they are doing is not aware, even in our personal lives. If you make some decisions that involve some other people and you do not carry them along, and then you're expecting their input or what they need to do for you to do what you want to do, at the end of the day, it's either there is a delay or you do not achieve that thing you need to achieve. So, synergy in every business organization cannot be overemphasized. Like, it is important. Technology, don't just bring in systems. What exactly works for your company? I've seen companies that just bring big names, paying thousands of dollars for frameworks that does not even add anything to the business. Again, it's all about strategy and doing the right thing that actually works for your business. So yes, the technology know-how, are your staff properly trained? Because it's not just about the staff. It's about what are you bringing on. Yes, you brought them on board. They have the experience. Are you investing in them as well? Because if they are supposed to know how to use this ERP, for instance, did you train them how to use it? Just like we mentioned about AI, you brought in AI. Even this AI, there's a way you work with them. If you're not using the right prompts, you won't get the right answers. So are you training? Are you training them to use it right? So it's not about investing in all those things. It's about training them to using the right technology, or even having those technology and being able to assemble them and use them for your own benefit. Analysis. Now, that one is a very, very detailed one because we're going to start from the very bottom up until the last. That is you factoring your costing. Costing includes everything. Everything. Even for people that work from the corners of their room. Are you factoring that portion down? If you're using 2 hours in your mom's room or dad's, or you're even your own house, there is a cost to that because if you think, oh, but it is my house, why would I be charging rent or why would I be charging? You'll be amazed that that habit is going to follow you and you will now be able to even ascertain the true picture of how your business is really performing. Those are very important. Then risk mitigation. It's better you anticipate things than you let it catch you on our way. It's not cut out to make you edgy, but something I've always learned as an accountant right from secondary school, my accounting teacher has said to us that accountants do not anticipate profit. We anticipate loss. Now, I'll break that down for you. Anticipating loss helps you to prepare yourself. So you're already thinking, if I did this thing this way, if he gives me this, let me be able to cover up this way. That's why we have provisions. My professional colleague will understand that you provide for all those things in advance. Or even in multinationals, what is your approval process? Are people just putting things into the system? If you wait until it happens before you close that end, a lot would have happened. Millions would have gone before you realize what is going on. So yes, this framework of mine, the start strategy, it encompasses everything you need to know about how you put the solid framework down for your businesses. Sometimes some companies don't really need the four pillars. Some just need to mitigate against their risk. Some just need to work on their technology aspect. Some just need the concrete analysis in their finances or in the business plan and process. So it's all about you sitting down, probably with consultants. We do that in my firm. We sit down with business owners or those who are just starting, and we ask them the right questions. And we're able to say, this is the problem, this is the challenge. And we help them fill that job so that they can actually get to that goal, which they all want to get to.
Wow.
Wow.
So it seems the STAR strategy, based on what you have in your book, is the engine behind sustainable profitability.
Well, you can say that.
So
From my
what
own
more?
lens, it is, yes, it is from my own lens
Okay.
because, like I said, you synergize everything you're working with. Don't work in silos. Make sure it's not just about having technology. Make sure you're utilizing it well. There are so many apps. Some businesses don't even need those major things that they are bringing in, technology aspect that they're bringing into their businesses. My strategy, honestly, it has worked for me. And I'm not just sucking this thing. I am speaking what I have worked with. It has helped me. And I have the testimonials with those, my clients, where I have worked, my colleagues, those who have worked with me. So these are not things that I'm not talking theory, I'm talking practical. There's a lot of people that will come out and say, oh, you do this, you give it this way, you give it that way, and you get this. No, I'm talking this whole thing came as a result of, okay, now I've done this, done this, done this. Perhaps this is what I've actually been doing consistently and has actually been working for me consistently. And that is how I came about this strategy. So it wasn't just that I sat down and said, okay, now I'm going to do an experiment. Now, I went back in history and I noticed that I did this, I did that, and did that. And that was why I have consistently maintained this success. So, yes, if you want to get your profit figures high and not just come out and say, I made 1 million sales, I made the sales I should make in 2 months, made it in 1 month. Okay, you made that sales in one day. Please, what is the profit aspect of that sales?
Yeah.
You can make sales of 10 billion and make a profit of minus in negative. It's possible. So yes,
Yeah.
it does
Yeah.
happen.
I think a good example would be if you run like a marketing promotion for you to make that sale.
Yes.
Did you factor the cost of the marketing promotion? Like, did you
You
deduct that? Yes.
I can give you examples and
Right. Go
examples
ahead if you have
and
one.
examples of things that because we sit in those meetings and you're like,
Mhm.
all right, this is not true. For the example you came up with, let me give you that.
Yeah.
You brought out this product is you made this $10 million, for instance, and everybody is ailing, yes, we've scaled, we met our target,
Yeah.
but the marketing strategy you used in getting the visibility for that product amounts to probably even 50% of the sales you made.
Mm.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah.
So the aggressiveness is very high. So they give it their all. They give everything to ensure that they hit it, which is good. There's nothing bad in that. However, when you're doing all of that, are you factoring those costs into the sales you're making? Some will go as far as giving discounts.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to sell something for say $50, and you're saying, oh, don't worry, if you buy 20 of this, I'm gonna give you a discount of XYZ%, and you end up selling it $30. And when we go back to our cost analysis, if the company actually did a cost analysis, the landing cost of that product is probably 35. So you're now selling at the low cost. The work of discount is for you to have more sales
Yeah.
and to encourage people to come into your product. However, in as much as you're doing that, make sure you've covered your cost.
Yeah.
Most people don't do that. So when you now take out all those costs, marketing costs, transportation, even the marketing person or the salesperson that did all the work, you pay the person. You realize that the $10 million that you thought you made, you're already going into negative. And when I say negative, it's going down, it's remaining $5,000, or you need to still pay for this. You're on your last, maybe $1,000 from the total sales of 10 million. And then you're unable to pay your creditors. Your creditors are who you bought those materials from.
Yeah.
The transportation, the logistics, the freight, all those things. Then you realize that where was the sales we thought we made?
So,
Thank you.
how does the profit jar help
Mhm.
SMEs? Like, If I'm buying this book, if I'm reading it as a startup, a
Mm-hmm.
founder, how will this
Mm-hmm.
book help me?
The book is gonna help you as an SME or someone that is just starting up a business. And because this book actually details step by step guidance.
Okay.
See, as a business owner, you want to scale, you want to make this profit, you want to be relevant. You don't want to start the business today and it folds up tomorrow. Nobody prays for that. This book here has everything. And when I say everything, from your idea, helping you to understand this idea of mine that I have, is it even something that is needed? How do I make this a relevant thing that a lot of people are going to know about this product? Now, when I'm selling that product or the services, what are the things that I'm meant to do that will keep me in business? The words that are used in the book are very simple. And there's no professional jargon. It is as simple as it can be so that anyone, you don't have to be an accountant to understand how you can do these things. Just knowing the foundational framework. You don't want to just start a business. A lot of people just, this thing is selling. Let me also, let me also start it. These books breaks down everything you need to know. I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, let me teach you how to make this business work for you. I have masterclass this, masterclass that." Fine, I'm not demarketing anybody this business or also, but sometimes it is not necessarily a masterclass thing. It is about you understanding what actually works for your own business. And that thing that you need to understand, the start strategy is all in this book. The examples in this book, they are real life. Yes, the names may be different, obviously, for obvious reasons, but they are real. There is a saying, you always learn more from people's experiences when you
Yeah.
see things happen. You know, oh, this person did this and did that, and that is how that person was able to maintain what happened. They are real life experiences. Even if you don't understand the financial terms that are used there, you can take a cue from the examples that are all put in this book. And there is absolutely no way you will not be able to get to the goal that you set out to achieve using those. I'm not sure if I answered your question
Yes, you
as
did.
you wish.
Yes, you
Mm.
did. So let's talk about profitability again, right? So
Yes.
I actually saw somewhere recently that it took organizations like Amazon about 7 to 8 years, or let's say like a decade, before they started to make profit. As a startup, do we have like an average timeline to start making profit?
Okay, see, like there's one mantra I go by
Yeah.
that always make sure you're doing things tailored to you or tailored to your business. There is no specifics of, oh, there's a particular timeline for a particular thing to happen. Amazon didn't make their own profits for a decade. Their goal is to be whatever they are today, obviously. And for them to be what they are today, they probably have to take a lot of cuts. Let me be honest with you, when they were not making that profits, maybe they
Yeah.
were breaking even or making a loss, there were some people that were actually bringing in the capital. It wasn't that they were just running a business without help gain because Amazon was growing. There were people that didn't mind not having to eat and pumping all the monies they have. They're not making any profit, but let us just put it in. I know where I'm going to. Don't worry. By the time I do this again, it is gonna hit. Now, some people don't have that. Amazon is built itself for the long. If you're looking for something to build for the long term, consistency is very important.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any straightforward route to you have to do it in XYZ time, you start making money. First of all, understand what you want to do. When you understand what you want to do, put down the structure. Be honest with yourself. And that's why I always tell founders, if your motive is only make profit or only make money, sometimes you actually may miss it. But if it's about, I want to be in this thing, I'm not even talking, oh, I want to make an impact, I want to change my world. If you are here for the long term, if you are building a business where you live and your children are going to take over and they will still continue based off on the frameworks you've left, then your foundation has to be very solid. Then the things you're going to put down, the money that you're going to close your eyes and ignore for now and delayed gratification will be a lot. And you'll be different from someone that I want to be able to sell these 10 books today and get my profit of 50 million by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So those kind of people will not mind selling their product at huge amount. But for some people like Amazon, you will see them running promo and selling things at ridiculously cheap prices. It's a tactic. It's winning people over. I'm not saying this is the only thing, but there are a lot of things, a lot of factors to consider if you really want to know what timeline for profit. But the truth about it is, profit is something that would eventually come, provided you are doing everything right. It doesn't have to be 5 years, even for a solid business that is going to be here forever. Sometimes you will get it in 2 years. And the fact that you made profit this year does not mean you will make profit next year. That doesn't mean you did something wrong. Some banks that we know from back home, they make profit today, they don't make profit tomorrow. Does that mean the business closed down? No. Things happen, life happens. Same way it happens to every one of us.
Yeah.
So, but what is your structure? What are you doing on a daily basis, your business activity? What are the guiding principles? Develop yours. Stick to it. Follow it through. Do the right things. Profit will come. It's not a timeline thing. So yes, there's no timeline to it, but fundamentally make sure you're doing the right thing. That profit will come. It can come in 6 months. It can come in 1 year. It all depends on your situation and your business goals, basically.
Right. And I think that speaks to purpose and profitability in the profit jar. Yeah, there's
Yes,
part where you talked
yes.
about purpose and
And
profitability. So it's not just
thank
about
you. Yes.
profitability. So purpose has to be somewhere in there as well. Because like I feel like the days where you're not making profit, what will keep you going is the purpose, the reason why you set up the business in the first
Thank
instance.
you.
So
You're very right. That's absolutely spot on. True.
yeah.
Because it has to be there.
Yeah. So, if I need your service as the finance strategist, what are the 1, 2, 3 things that you would be able to help my business to do? Like I'm a startup. Yeah, I need your service. What are the 1, 2, 3 things?
Okay. So, like I said in my conversation, I have a firm, finance consulting firm, Smith Financials. It's a registered company, both home and abroad. I'm not a blanket finance person, in as much as finance is the same across board. The finance in Africa is the same finance in America, in Canada. There's always a guiding principle. So an SME coming to us to say they need our expertise, we had to first listen to them. What are you trying to achieve? Are you just in need of us for your taxing modalities, filing of your taxes? There are some lawful ways to pay less taxes in different countries. So if that is why you want to consult us, we tailor our services based on what you want. Now, if you're coming to us based on the fact that, oh, I'm a founder, just want to start, we need to hear you talk first, understand you, then we develop a structure for you. But are we going to be there guiding you every step of the way? Yes. It is, first of all, listening to our clients, then give them a strategy framework that works. Sometimes it is about employing staffs for them or referencing people. Yeah. So, I mean, it differs. Trust me, it differs. But the bottom line is, are we going to be there every step of the way? We are here working with our client.
Right. So, what would be your advice for a startup?
You obviously want to make profit, but you want to understand how your finance is going to work. The first thing I'm going to tell them is it's possible. Your vision, and it is possible to have it in a solid way. Don't go and sign an agreement or don't receive a proposal or make a proposal that at the end of the day would not align with the goals you have for your business. Things get exciting in business meetings. You talk about those figures, they give you the profit margin in codes, and you think, this is amazing. There should always be a pause. Let me get back to you, or let me speak with my accountant, or let me speak with my finance team, or something. If a business person can always have that at the back of their mind and not just sit down and press the calculator, I can tell you that is going to help them go a long way. Involve your finance people. Please make sure it is not just someone that doesn't have the experience. Make sure it's someone that really knows what he or she is doing. That way you'll be able to achieve things faster. It's important that for every decision you want to make concerning business, starting up from the scratch, if you really want to eat it good, make sure you have good hands working with you and make sure you're carrying your finance department along in every decision you know,
Yeah. In
finance
reality,
criteria.
as a startup, I'm not thinking about
No,
finance person.
don't. You don't think about us.
I
What?
because I just want to buy clothes from whatever country and I want to start to resell. I don't even think about anybody finance.
You would be surprised. You know why? I understand. It takes someone that is in the profession to understand that. Yes, you people don't think about us. Then by the time you realize that, okay, now let me get an accountant. There will be a
The deed
season
has
you will
been
now say,
done.
let me get an accountant. Then you will now bring your books. Then we now start saying, how about this one? I'll check my WhatsApp. I will forward it to you via email. Sometimes you're like, how much am I making in the business that you want me to bring an accountant? That's always what we hear. And I tell people that people, you can always tailor it to what you want. The prompt that they will tell you, if that place you think you want to get to, you can get to it fast if it's a good handle. And I say this because I understand that, oh, I'm still just doing this thing in in the corner of my room. And you're talking accountants. It is
Yes.
for the big people. I get it. But even if you can have an account, like I have friends that do business, like, Temi, what okay, I'm doing this thing. Should I do it this way? They don't really necessarily have to pay me, but that you don't need a finance person looking at what you're doing. But as a business owner yourself, don't you, even if it's just to go online and check how can you scale your business? What are the things you need to do again?
Yeah.
You're doing all of that to make what? Is it not to
Money.
make this money?
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's a waste of money. I understand. I don't agree, but I understand because for a business I just started, please, even if you are not employing, make sure you are looking into that financial side of your business. I say it's, I'm very passionate about this thing because by the time you think, let me get an accountant, oh my goodness, a lot of things are up. And accounting is so wired that there's no going back. It's
It's
historical
done.
in nature. Everything you've done from day one is sitting down there waiting for you. And when you now have someone wanting to invest in this business, where are
Yeah.
your books? I've seen people come to me, tell me, I have someone that wants to invest. They've asked me for my books, but you've not been keeping things right. The person has actually been making wrong decisions. Please just get someone. It could be an accountant friend you worked with as a colleague. Make sure you're speaking to someone that knows, understand these figures.
Yeah.
Don't do it alone. That's just the advice. You're starting business newly. Don't think you know it. Make sure someone in finance is checking what you're doing until you're well established and you can now employ the professional hands on a day-to-day basis. Make sure someone is checking what you're doing. A day will come, someone will want your books. A day will come. It's always happened. I say this because I know it happens. You will need someone to come and check your books. And that is where you understand the depth and the significance of you having someone looking into it for you.
So reading Profit Jar, does that help me?
He helps you, definitely. I mean, it helps you not just because I'm the author of this book. I wrote this book now because I want to make profit. And for those who read books, the price of it is not what you would see for any book out there. I wrote it because I see that there is a gap. And just like what we just finished discussing, you want to make profit, but you do not want to bring in the expertise of the specialist that does it. While I hear, I'm just small, I don't even have money to do this thing. You still want me to bring in a finance person? You can look for someone. There is always going to be a finance person in your circle or a friend that knows a friend. I have advised people that didn't pay me a dime. I have worked, I have done a lot of freebies in my professional life, and it has profited those people that now they've employed me. I have SLAs with them and all of that. I didn't do this book to make profit, even though that's what the book is about. I'm not a pessimist. A lot of businesses will never stand the test of time. It is the truth because they are all following the trend of this is the new oil, let us do it. But you have to know the basics, and that is what this book is about. And that is why it is going to help your business. It's going to help you personally. It's going to influence how you make money decisions in your personal. So there you have it.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Temilola.
Thank
It's
you for
been,
having me.
yeah, it's been great having you on the podcast. And I
Thank
know that
you.
listeners would have gained one thing or the other. I've
Mhm.
also gone through the profit jar. I would advise any startup, business owner, even for your personal life, for you to get this book. There are a
Mm.
lot of strategy for you to learn from this book and also adopt in your businesses. So, where can we get this book, Temilola?
It's on Amazon. Just go in there, type in the title of the book. It's gonna pop up. We have it in ebook and we have it in paperback for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Temilola. And
Thank you
for,
so much for having me.
yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Thrive Beyond podcast. If you
Thank
gained
you.
one thing from this episode, feel free to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming episodes. Till I see you on the next one, keep thriving.